Hey, and welcome back to another Magicavoxel video. In this one, I will show you guys how to create a few building assets for your city. This will be part 1 of 2 for creating cities in Magicavoxel. In the next episode, I will show you how to utilize the buildings to actually create the city by duplicating them and creating an illusion of multiple buildings, even though they're probably only 8 or 9 building assets. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so in our scene we're going to create 6 or 7 different building models. So what we can do to help us get started is to open up the arrow here on the palette, and where it says notes, you can just start filling basically start organizing the color palette per building. I'm going to space them up by 2. Just in case I wanted to add extra colors or something like that. Okay, and then on down here, this will be like if I plan on adding emissions or like lights to the buildings. And so let's go ahead and get started with building 1. Building 1 was just going to be a pretty generic building. I'm just gonna, for sake of organization, I'm just going to pick some placeholder color for now. We're going to go out of the world view and into object mode by pressing tab or clicking this arrow here. You want to be in orthogonal view with mirror mode X and Y turned on, and we're just going to create a basic cube. And we're going to start creating some glass. So using box mode and paint, select a new color and change it to a darker color so you can symbolize that's glass. We're just going to go in here and start coloring the building walls, I mean, like so. And now if you left click on the color, if you have same palette color selected, it'll also select this side. So we can just hit Control C, or go over here, copy, and you paste. It pastes over the original. So you want to hold Control on your keyboard and drag down. Same thing, I'm going to select the color, and once you select a color, it'll select all the palette. Copy, paste, and just repeat this process until you get to the bottom. That's as far as it goes. And to save us time doing this, what we could do is delete that. Control A to select all, Control C, Control V, and then over here rotate the Z axis, and now it's rotated this selection on these two sides. You can hit Control D for done to deselect, or just click outside of the box. And now we want to go to face mode to attach, but instead of color you pick geo. Select the color you want, and now close it up. And we're going to keep duplicating this up to the top. Now it should be noted that you don't want this. It looks kind of weird. We want it to be only 2 blocks wide. So we can go here to crop tool, get rid of that, bring it down, and now we can just keep repeating this process. I think I'm going to stop on this floor right here. Just bring it up a little bit, go to the top, erase, and just erase an outline like that, and then bring it down ever so slightly like so. Kind of too high. something like that. And now on the top of these buildings, there's always like a maintenance like door or something that you can go out and inspect the air conditioning or ventilation systems up here. So we're just gonna make that real quick. And even these have roofs. And then we're gonna select new color as like the gravelly bit for the top of the roof, like so. And go ahead and select all, drag the whole thing up a little bit, holding shift and selecting the bottom, you just drag it down, press G to set it to the ground, and now go to the crop tool and crop it. And we actually want to get rid of the window, so we're just gonna paint on the region replace, paint all that. And we're just gonna paint some ground windows down here. Like so. Again, this is kind of weird, so we're gonna copy the pattern for the windows up here. There we go, like so. It's the spot right here. Okay, now that that's done, we can do one or two things. We can alt left click right here to select the palette color, go to render, go over to materials and select glass transparency, up the IOR, which is reflectiveness, and decrease the roughness. And we have something like this. I'm gonna give it a little bit more depth, so what you can do is select the windows. We're actually going to delete it, go to the paint mode, and in box select just paint the inside of the indents, like so. And you want to go to modify and select hull for hollow, or whatever it says down there. Remove all visible voxels. Now if I go over here, you can see it has a little bit of depth, and we want to decrease the transparency because we don't really want to see the inside of that. Like so. Maybe make it darker. That adds a little bit more of a depth of field thing, or makes a little bit look better. There's texture on it, so we can go ahead and delete these. Oops, don't delete the top. And from top, we can do the same. Select hollow. Same with the bottom. Okay, so that's building one done. We can add a little bit more fixtures up here to make it look interesting. For instance, we can add some of these like light things to signify that you mustn't, if there's an airplane, you shouldn't. These basically signify that the building is tall, so you don't want to land your aircraft there. Maybe we can put a little bit door for the maintenance room, something like that. So there we go. There's building one. Actually, maybe give it like a small design up top. Maybe like make it a little bit blue. And then probably duplicate it onto the other side, which I can do by selecting color. And rotating it. Like so. Okay, there's building one. Let's go ahead and go to building two. Alright, for building two, we can make it a little bit lower. Let's put it to the side for now. And we'll be using a new color for a placeholder. Let's go ahead and make a basic cube. And we can start by coloring it in. Turning on the X and Y mirror mode. Let's see here. And I'm trying to think what we can do, what style we want. Honestly, probably the same thing except for one thing, which I will show you guys in a second. Just gonna do a basic layout like that, and I'm gonna delete the insides. Control C, exactly what we did before. Close it up. We're actually gonna make it bigger. Let's just make it 45. Make it stick out a little bit. And what we can do is add these lines. Wrong way. Let's find the right one. So if I turn on Z on axis mode, you can create a line using box mode just by clicking. So we're gonna add in some lines. Try to make it look a little bit different. There we go, we have something pretty cool like that. We can even do something like this. See what that looks like. And actually I don't like that, so we're just gonna keep it like this. And this will go up maybe 1 floor. Like so. Stop right there. The second one will be the roof. And we want to match. Actually, let's get rid of that one. Do it again. Bring it up. And color all that in, and just use the crop tool to lower it. Lower even more actually. And with the same thing as the top here, we're going to create like a rooftop thing. Like so. Actually, we can have the top part closed like so. Actually, it's not symmetrical, so just gotta use that. See how it looks. Okay. Take a look. This looks kind of stupid, so I'm actually gonna undo that. And oh, it's slightly unsymmetrical, I think. So we just get rid of that. Okay, I think that's symmetrical. And then we're going to do the same thing with the roof. We're going to add these rooftop things. And give these roofs as well. Okay. Like with this, we can alt left click on this to grab the palette color and give it a glass emission. And that looks good. So I'm just gonna select that and put it to the side for now. So what we can do is actually select. So let's say we're going to put this into one group. We're going to hit Control R, which click over here, put it in a group. We can call this building 2. Now we can minimize that. Or wrong thing. We can call this building, and then call this 1. And inside here, this will be 2. Now we can minimize that. So with these 2 buildings already made, kind of gave you guys an idea on how to make buildings. So I'm going to cut to a time-lapse video where I make the other 5 buildings, because if I just show you how to make all the buildings, it probably will take like 40 minutes for this video. So we're going to go ahead and go to the time lapse, and I'll see you guys afterwards. that wraps up the content in this video. I hope this video has helped. In the next video, we will be covering how to use the buildings that we've created to duplicate them and create this sense of depth you see here in this image. We will also focus on building roads and plotting them down in our city, as well as creating the ground for our image here, putting down the pavement, grass, and dirt, as well as adding trees. Hopefully I'll see you all in the next video, and take care.